If you're trying to get your pet to drink more water, or maybe you just want to make sure that they always have wonderful fresh water without you constantly replacing the water in their bowl, then you're going to want a really nice water fountain. And I am thrilled that PetSafe just gifted me their Viva water fountain, as this is a very unique one, and I'm excited to put this to the test. Now, to start off with, it has a lovely and very simple tank here. It has a viewing panel on the front and little rubber feet on the bottom, so it'll stay nice and clean. And then it's pretty unique how this goes together. It's very different than any other fountain I've come across, and I have tested a lot of water fountains. To start off with, the pump right here has little suction feet, so it'll stick right on the bottom in the square indent on the bottom. And you can always clean these pumps by popping the front off, and then you can actually take apart all of these pieces. It's usually better with a little piece of metal, but let me just show you real quick here. And then you can open it up, and you can even take out this middle spinner. The middle spinner of the pump is spun with a magnet. So that's how you can take it all apart and really get in there and clean it without messing with any mechanism. And then you just put it right back together, and that just snaps in. And then this fountain is unique in that it actually has an adjuster on it to adjust flow. And all that adjuster is actually doing is closing a little bit of the gap that goes into the pump or opening it all the way. So that's all you're really doing there. When it comes to pumps, the simpler the better, less room for failure. So I really like this lovely simple design, and I'm going to make sure mine is as open as possible. I want full flow. And then once your pump is ready to go, you're just going to stick it into this housing right here. And it does have a pretty straightforward way to go, where the light, it does have a light when it's low on water, is poking out the side along with this cord. And this is one of the cooler housings I've seen, as usually a pump has like the tiniest little filter covering the water inlet side. And this one has the largest filter I have ever seen. This is specifically designed to catch any solids that are in the water, and it's just gonna fit inside the housing around mostly all of the filter, really capturing any water that can get in there. So that's really, really cool. Again, very unique. And then this just goes right down in. You can basically see the indentation where it goes. And then once it's in, this cord actually goes through this hole right here. And once you pull it through, you have about 6 feet of cord. That's the longest cord I have ever seen on one of these water fountains, which is really, really nice. As often, I want to put a water fountain in a place that's not easily accessible by a power outlet. And this one not only has a nice 6-foot cord with a USB plug on the end, but it actually comes with the adapter, something else you don't always see these days. So I really appreciate that. And then we're not actually finished here. There's a little bit more to go. First off, you do want to cover this opening just so there's never a risk of water going down there. And it has this little silicone seal that's just going to squeeze down on top of that hole. And then once you have it down, you're actually going to fold it over. And once that's on, this opening should be completely sealed. Water should never be able to go down it. Also, water will likely never be high enough to go down that anyway. This is just an extra protection. And then you get your activated carbon filter. This is unique. I've never seen one like this. According to PetSafe, this is an Ion X and dual foam filtration system. I can see the activated carbon and the resin in it. This is both standard and very unique. And then this just slides right down in this opening in the back. So overall, this is very clean and straightforward to take care of. And what I think is cool about this slide is at first I'm wondering, how exactly does that work? But then I realized that what's happening is that the water is actually going to drip right down the back behind that filter, and that is how it's going to keep everything filtered. So it's a very clean filter. It's also nice because the water can constantly circle and keep going through the filter over and over again, instead of most of these fountains where it just has that one chance to go through the filter as it goes under the bowl. So different concept. And then finally, you have your lid, which is stainless steel, and I definitely prefer stainless steel, especially over plastic, as it's much easier to clean. And my old kitty used to get acne whenever he drank out of a plastic bowl. Never had an issue with stainless steel. And this really does just pop right on the top. Super, super clean, straightforward little fountain, and then it's going to bubble. Let me fill it up with some water so we can see how it works. And now it's running. Off the bat, what I am really loving is how deep and large this top stainless steel bowl really is. So many pet fountains have a very limited and shallow bowl for your kitties to drink out of. This is deep enough and inviting enough that multiple cats could come up to it. This could also very much be used by a small dog, maybe even a large dog. Very inviting. It does have a bubbling sound, but it's very minimal. I'll let you listen to it for just a moment. So quiet, very, very clean fountain. I do have pros and cons with this fountain. So what I love about it is this top stainless steel bowl, how deep it is, how quiet the bubbler is, how very straightforward the interior is, easy to clean, easy to take care of, easy to maintain, and I really like how long this cord is. Now, I do wish this was all stainless steel. I personally like having as little plastic as possible, but the plastic is exceptionally convenient. I love that it has the viewer on the front so you can see how much water's in it. It will alert you when it's low, and it will auto shut off if there's not enough water for the pump to work. So very smart fountain overall. And if you are looking for a solid fountain from a very well-known brand, this PetSafe fountain will serve you well.